Chapter 6 is the end of Make Your Mark. At least right now, since there isn't any information about the show being continued in 2024. Even though Make Your Mark is most likely over, the G5 will continue in Tell Your Tale format. Which is, if I'm being completely honest here, rather sad news to me. I do criticize Make Your Mark a lot, but I still get excited whenever I get to see new episodes. I remember watching Friendship is Magic back in the day, getting ready for a new episode each week, watching it and then discussing it. I had a truly good time with that show. Friendship is Magic was an absolutely phenomenal show. Make Your Mark was a letdown, however, especially after a New Generation movie, which was fantastic in my opinion. But with each chapter, I saw the animators and writers were trying to actually improve the quality of the show. As much as they could improve, of course. But before I start the main part of this video, I just wanna rant, because it seems like nobody at Hasbro cares much about G5. The episode of Tell Your Tale retelling the defeat of Opoon in Chapter 6 was released a week before Chapter 6 itself. That's just not good. A completely messed up release schedule. For many people it was an unpleasant surprise and a big spoiler as well. Seems like two branches are completely disconnected from each other, and there is no one to effectively coordinate anything. Now about the show. As I said, it does seem like writers actually try to hear what people are complaining about. People have been critical of Opoon for being a terrible and absolutely uninteresting villain. Which is fair since Opoon was not a good antagonist indeed, for many reasons such as lack of good motivation and any charisma at all. In Chapter 6, Opoon had a villain song which was supposed to make her feel more charismatic and interesting. And this worked on me. The song called Villain adds a tinge of self-irony to her character. A couple of episodes later, Opoon gets defeated and her arc finally comes to an end. My favorite moment definitely was the confrontation between Opoon and Misty. This is a definitive moment for Misty as a character, as it showed how much she changed since her first appearance. Misty was able to stand up to Opoon without any fear or doubt, and even confess that she hadn't been on Opoon's side for some time. This is some pretty decent character development. And this is exactly what makes Misty the best character of G5. Because she goes through an inspiring transformation, step by step, and chapter after chapter. This same, unfortunately, cannot be said about other characters. One of the biggest issues of G5 is that characters do not really face any personal challenges, which could provoke some character growth. I don't even feel like comparing Sunny to Twilight Sparkle again, it's gotten pretty old already. Learning how to be an alicorn and defending others could be an actual challenge for Sunny. Imagine some villain, not necessarily Opoon, attacks Maritime Bay, and Sunny tries to defend every pony but can't turn on her alicorn mode, so she loses the battle. After that, Sunny has to train hard and find answers within herself of how to be able to control her alicorn powers and be a better protector for ponies. But none of that happens obviously. You are probably wondering what I thought about Spike. Honestly, I didn't see reason for him to be in this show, but it didn't hurt anyway. His design here is much better than it was at the end of Friendship is Magic, when his appearance practically became a meme. Spike always wanted to have muscles, but overworked himself somewhere along the way. He looks way better in Make Your Mark. He became a Dragon Lord, which begs for a logical question to be asked. What happened to Amber? She was a Dragon Lord. But we're not gonna find that out. Spike's words imply that he's been a Dragon Lord for a very long time. Hearing him having a very deep voice took some getting used to, if I'm being honest. The most disappointing thing about dragons is how little they contributed to the defeat of Opoon. Seriously though, for a big chunk of time they were under Opoon's magical control. After all, Opoon was defeated by singing. I watched Disney's Wish just a couple of days before and the villain there was also defeated by a song. So this scene from MLP gave me flashbacks. Turns out music is a very powerful instrument to beat bad guys. At least in cartoons. Secrets of Starlight is the final special of Chapter 6. The name is an obvious bait since the village that main characters discover is called Starlight Ridge, so the special should have been called Secrets of Starlight Ridge. But the actual name is intentionally ambiguous, so if Hasbro wanted people to talk about it more, they effectively succeeded, since people speculated a lot whether this special will have anything to do with Starlight Glimmer. After defeating Opalin, a mysterious portal opens up to a different world. On the other side, our characters find a village called Starlight Ridge, which is under control of a vicious villain named Allura, who also has a mysterious brother whose voice we hear at the end of the special. I enjoyed the special. Sure, it wasn't amazing, but it reminded me a lot of Rainbow Road Trip special, released in 2019. There the main six also go to an unfamiliar village, where they must help local ponies with their troubles. I love the winter atmosphere and new characters. My favorite is definitely Comet. I really love his design, and the fact that he comes to Maritime Bay means we're gonna see more of him in the future G5 episodes. Speaking of animation, the backgrounds look good, especially in Secrets of Starlight. Wintry forest and auroras in the sky look marvelous. Allura's design really rubbed me the wrong way though. I really don't like how she looks, and her annoying rabbit sidekick doesn't make me feel excited either. There is clearly something wrong with action sequences. I can't really put my finger on it, the action scenes just look off. The problem lies in models rigging, probably. It must be rigging. Making action scenes in 3D is harder than in 2D, since you need to work in 3-dimensional space. 3D is hard. That's what I learned after getting into 3D animation and 3D modeling earlier this year. Music is decent, but nothing outstanding. Magic in Us is the most memorable song to me, and the only one that I'll listen to again probably. But even this song lacks personality. The whole G5 soundtrack seriously lacks any personality, and sounds like extremely polished pop music. In G4 there was a variety of genres. Most Applejack's songs were country, and even by hearing the instrumental you could tell it was Applejack's song. Plus there was a variety of instruments, while G5 seemingly has only synthesizer and drums. Not saying the soundtrack is bad though. The attempt at pop-punk called Where Did It Go is pretty catchy. Chapter 6 was decent enough all in all. But Chapter 4 remains my favorite, since it has the most memorable moments of the entire show. Moments like the bridal Woodstock, the masquerade ball, and Misty getting her cutie mark. If Make Your Mark is finished indeed, it is not really hard to see exactly why. Hasbro doesn't want the main show to be on a streaming service, since it hurts the accessibility for many people. Producing 3D episodes takes a lot of time for the Atomic Cartoon Studio. During the late years of G4, DHX Media was able to produce 26 episodes of Friendship is Magic, plus a lot of Equestria growth related content as well. Each year. In 2023 we got 19 Make Your Mark episodes. 19 because I counted 40-minute specials as 2 episodes, which is significantly less than it used to be before. Hasbro's logic is not hard to follow. Why spend money on not the most popular show when you have a vastly cheaper alternative, which is Tell Your Tale? I'm sure the show is extremely cheap, it's available on YouTube, and each episode is only 5 minutes long, which is more suitable for kids with shorter attention span. Switching to Tell Your Tale entirely is great for business, but it's quite terrible from a storytelling perspective, since you can't really tell a compelling story in a 5-minute format, which means that the story will be secondary. Anyway, nothing is certain right now, so maybe we'll get more Make Your Mark next year, and if not, we'll see if Tell Your Tale will be improved, at least in some ways.